that was like the worst news I could hear, especially at the time I heard it. I was this close to failing. I've never been in an accident this bad in my life. I wasn't doing okay mentally. I've also been having like health issues. Like I lost so much weight. I'm ready to just quit medical school. Like 2021, what else? Alright, hello guys, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Oni and I'm a third year medical student. This is going to be an update video. I kind of stopped posting both on here and on my social media, which is her med series, which I'll tag on here. I stopped posting on those platforms since like August or September. I just went off the radar. The reasons behind that I will share in this video. You probably can already tell from the title, and if you watched my last vlog, I did mention a couple of things on that vlog that I said I was going to bring up in this video. So yeah, you already kind of have an idea. 2021 really came. I was like, Onyinyechi wants to see if you are made of steel. He wants to see if you're built like iron, honestly. And 2021 really did me in. Like, yeah. Very quick intro for my first time subscribers. I am a third year medical student, like I said. I started third year 2021 fall semester. I had been posting videos on YouTube since I started medical school. I promised myself as an international medical student that when I get into medical school, I'll start a YouTube channel to help, other students who wear or are in my shoes. So that's kind of how I started this channel. Starting 2021, guys, I was just completing my second year of medical school, and so of course for most people who know, by second year of medical school you take your step 1 boards, which is the super important exam, helps you in matching and all of that. I was the last set to take it scored, so moving forward, especially people who are taking step this year, you're going to be taking a pass fail, which just takes a lot of stress from you, honestly. And like, I personally wish that I was able to take my step pass fail. From February to like May, I was studying for boards. So whatever happened February to May is honestly a blur for me, because I was step studying, I was board studying. Honestly, all I did for the first half of my year was study, cry, get mad when things aren't, working the way they should, or when I'm not scoring well, dealing with a lot of anxiety. Of course, I was home all the time too. I wasn't really going anywhere. I just like literally wake up and go to my desk to study, take practice exams, feel discouraged about the practice exams. I had to extend my study time so I could, just make an okay score. It was just a very difficult time, you guys, because I truly wasn't making the scores that I felt like I needed to make. So for the first half of like my year last year, I honestly don't know what was going on. Whatever was happening outside in the world, I do not know. I literally could not tell you. If there was some new music, I did not know about it. I did not hear about it until June. Okay, in medical school you generally get like a dedicated time, like it's literally called dedicated because it's dedicated to you studying for boards. You may get like 6 to 8 weeks from the school. Some schools might give you like 2 to 3 months. It really depends on the school, but I think we got about 6 weeks. But I actually had to request extra time because my exam date was coming near and I was barely, at this point, I think at that point I wasn't even passing. Pass is like 190 something, and I was probably getting like 200, 199, 200 type situation. And also being an international student, like you need to make even higher grades. So my goal was definitely like a lot higher than just passing. Like I needed to get a score that's even more competitive than what competitive is, right? And at this point I'm barely passing. So I'm like, here on Guinea, like what is going on here? I'm not passing. Excuse you? like I hadn't failed any classes or any exams in school aside from my very first exam of medical school, which after that, like I really worked on changing like my study methods and approach and like the amount of energy that medical school needs. So I was just sitting like, why am I not passing? And that honestly caused a lot of like anxiety for me, and because of this I was barely talking to anyone in my life. Literally I would just wake up, study all day, go to bed, wake up in the next morning, study all day. And I can't explain how excruciating that is. Like having to do that every day for a couple weeks, like, or months. I think mine went up for 2 months. Like it's like you're in prison, honestly. but not really. You know what I mean? One of my siblings moved into the country and I had to get her settled into university life until she's more comfortable here. And it was hard kind of doing that together with medical school because med school was still going on. And then shortly after, I lost my grandmom. When we got the news, I was literally flying with my sister. I was going to drop off my sister at school. I didn't really get the time to like digest that news because we had a lot of stuff going on. After I left my sister at school, came back, I had to get myself back into school mode because I had lost like 2 weeks trying to get my sister settled in. I had lost 2 weeks of like my study schedule and my like school schedule. Basically just saying this to say that I didn't really get the time to properly mourn my grandmom. And so during board studying, like literally at the peak or like the middle of board studying, the burial happened, and you know, my family sent me some videos, some clips and stuff like that, and it just yeah, it was just not, no. I was studying when I got the videos and I just literally broke into tears, like wow, like she's really gone. And again, each time I had to constantly stop myself from thinking about it because like I barely have the time to think about anything right now but school. Because the thing is, if you take the exam and you don't pass your boards, you are going to have to retake it and take a pause with medical school till you get your grades figured out. So who's trying to do that? I couldn't talk to anyone. I could barely talk to family. I could barely talk to my siblings. I barely talk to literally my friends. Like I talked to my med school friends maybe once in a while, people who'd call in to check up on me and stuff like that. But I was barely speaking to anyone because I was not performing in school, and like I was this close to failing my board. I was this close to basically dropping out. I don't have time. I need to put every hour of the day and every minute of the day into studying and getting myself into a position where by the time I take the board exam, like at least, you know, I'm sitting at an okay value, especially as an international student. So that's kind of what happened my first half of 2021, just board studying. Guys, I was crying every day. I had made videos, I had made vlogs, I had made so many things, and I just could not post them because I wasn't doing okay mentally. I was so anxious. I was just dealing with a lot of emotions and like I was scared. Anyway, that was boards. That was my first half of the year. And while all of that was going on, I've also been having like health issues, not like serious health issues, but all of that kind of played into my weight loss. Like I lost so much weight. It's the stress, the anxiety, school, my health, and just every other thing I was suppressing in order to focus on school. I literally went from a medium size to an extra small size. I couldn't even believe it. Most of my clothes were not fitting anymore. Everyone who saw me was like, "Are you okay?" After boards came, there was no rest because I had put away everything for boards. So by the time boards was over, I had this whole pile of things to do. One of them was moving out. I had to move out of my last apartment by May, but this apartment was not available until August. And I was moving out by May, so I had to look for a place to stay for June and July. Literally right after boards, I had to start packing, like looking for people to help me move, and planning all of that was just like a lot right after boards. Moving out is actually a lot of work, especially when you have to coordinate with friends and people. It's just, since now we know the first half of the year what went down, I've pretty much summarized my January to May. Let's go month by month right now. So June, I actually took a trip to Puerto Rico, which I vlogged. I'm gonna put the link up here if you guys want to watch that. I really needed to have that trip. This PR trip is a trip that was supposed to happen previous year, but we had it canceled because of COVID. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna let med school kill me like this. I'm not gonna let med school take away all my joy this year. I refuse it. I was like, yeah, like this trip, I'd love for it to happen. So it happened. I'm grateful for that trip. In July, I believe in July, I started my first rotation, which was Family Med, which I vlogged about as well. So I'm gonna leave a link up there. And at this point I wasn't driving, so I had to take buses like back and forth. It was a 40 minutes drive to and from the hospital. Sometimes I used the bus, which was like an hour, 30 minutes ride. It was just insane. August, I had moved into my apartment. I actually vlogged that. I was supposed to post that in August, but every time I'm like, yeah, I'm supposed to post. This post is supposed to go up. Something happens. But anyway, Medical school is super expensive, so I take out loans like everybody else does. But because I'm an international student, I have to take out private loans. So the loan that I was taking out that I've never had an issue with, for some reason, they started denying me my loans. And I don't even have the energy to go into the details of all of that. But I got denied my loans for school, and at this point it was time to start paying up the school fees. I'm like, so this is a couple months into the semester and I haven't paid my fees. And the personal loans I be taking never had an issue with this, literally never been a problem. All of a sudden, the one time that I needed the loans to come through, it didn't come through. So I'm like, why? Why are you coming to give me extra stress? That was like the worst news I could hear, especially at the time I heard it. This is the worst time to give me news like this. Like the loan, because I was already dealing with so much, I had to get a car within those 2 weeks. So a lot of other things centered around this loan. I needed the school to stop bothering me about the loans. I needed money for all the Ubers that have been spending left, right, center. Guys, every day I'm on an Uber and it's at least $30. That's $60 per day, $300 to $400 that I'd spend a week on transportation. So I'm like, I needed to figure out this car situation, and I needed the loans to help, with all the issues I was dealing with. And it was the last thing I think wouldn't go through, like it was supposed to go through. Like I've never had an issue with my personal loans. So when that happened, I'm like, there's no way this is not a mistake. And I called, and yeah, they actually absolutely denied my loans. You guys, I can't even mention the amount of money that I needed to get out of the situation to get my loans. Like I had to pay so much money to get my loans. Just a lot of stuff with loans, with my credit. My credit score dropped by like 52 points. Guys, things that I feel like could be very easily avoided if you had family here, honestly. And again, I'm really going to go back to that fact, because if I actually did have family, some of these things, because I didn't know this is how it works over here. Like a lot of things that I do or I have learned, I had to figure out on my own, or like from mistakes or from like doing research and stuff like that. Of course I have international advisors and stuff who help me with certain things, but a lot of things like sometimes you don't even realize until it happens, which is again why I started this channel, to help other internationals out there with information. I will be talking more about this whole bill thing because I feel like that's something everybody needs to know. Like, so what happened to me doesn't happen to anybody. I kind of even wish that on my worst enemy. At this stage, I'm like, this was at the point where I was like, I have 2 weeks to have this figured out, to get my license, to get my permit, to get a car before OBGYN rotation starts, because I don't want to fail school. OB schedule is you gotta be there overnight. You have to come in early, and I can't really be depending on Ubers to take me to and from the hospital, and I didn't want that to affect how I'd look to, residents and stuff. Like I have to, especially as a third year medical student, I need to be professional, right? Because these things would affect my grades. And I'm a black woman, I'm a black Nigerian girl, I have an accent. I'm not about to let these people notice me extra. My name is super long, so literally if I do anything wrong, everybody will remember. They will remember that girl. Yes, remember, that tall skinny girl. Yes, the Nigerian. And all of these things are happening. So honestly, it was just almost like, should I just take a step back from schools? If I'm not able to pay school fees, then what am I doing here? If I'm not able to drive to and from school and I have to depend on Ubers for the next couple days, like in which case my reputation in the hospital could be tarnished, do I even want to go ahead? Because these are honestly very valid points. I'm still dealing with all these other things on the side. Like my health issue has still been a thing throughout. So I'm just like, honestly, there's so much happening. I haven't had time to just breathe. As per drink water, swallow it peacefully. Like I said, guys, the only break I had was like a couple days in PR, and even the PR trip, guys, like, yeah, I didn't show it, but I cried a couple times on that trip because I was stressed still. Medical school doesn't give you the time to do life. Like it could eat you up and spit you out. That's really medical school if you let it. It could be things happening with you on the side, but it's like you can't really let those things affect your medical training and your medical education. I got the news that the loan was actually one of my friends' white coat ceremony. I'd already taken the day off from the hospital to actually be there, and then this happened. I was just like, what kind of kind of wild as this one. So I came back home. I'm like, I was even glad I took that day off because I just came back home to cry. Honestly, I cried so much last year. When I spoke to my dad, I had to call my dad crying. Like, he was like, I haven't heard you cry this deeply in a long time. And I'm like, yeah, because I haven't complained about all the things that have been going on for me this year. I am independent to a fault. I may rant once in a while to people, but when it comes to actually figuring it out, I figure it out. Like, I barely complain about it to my parents. Left to them, like, I am able to handle it. They don't have to worry about me. But it's like when I was crying, like, my dad was like, are you okay? I haven't heard you cry like this in a very long time, because I was stressed, guys. I was so over it. At this point, I had broken down. I was like, I'm ready to just quit medical school because I might actually fail, and that's scary. I don't want to fail. So I think it's just best if I take the year off and just continue next year when things settle down, because right now it's not giving and I'm stressed, I'm tired, I haven't rested since boards, I haven't rested all year, you know. And this is the conversation I was having with my dad. Luckily for me, things got settled. I was able to figure things out. Like, we had to speak to so many people, I had to call lawyers. I applied for the loan a second time, got rejected the second time. I had to move on to like applying to different places. It was just a lot. While school was still going on, I finally was able to get my car. You know, things started to like settle down a little bit, you know. My loans finally got approved. I need to emphasize that I did all of this in 2 weeks. I got my permit, I learned how to drive, and I took my driving test, and I got my driver's license in 2 weeks. So just having the car was so helpful that month for me during OB. Like, I'm just like, finally I can breathe. And at this point, my loan had already been approved, so I was just kind of waiting for the money to just come through so that school stops bugging me, and you know, I actually have some like expendable money for myself personally. September was a much more relaxed month for me compared to the crazier months that I've had. And then October, like, things were getting a little bit more settled. I had time to just do other things while I was in school, and October was like, it was getting ready to be like a chill little month, finally having some peace in my life. And this particular weekend, I got my loans. So I had like the notification that the school had gotten my loans, and I was going to be getting some money in the next 2 days, you know, from the loans. I was just like, thank you, God. Like, I had seen how much I was getting. I'm like, yo, finally some peace. I can take care of my apartment. I can take care of me, you know, have some time for myself. Like, oh my God, like, I haven't felt this peace in such a long time. I just have not had like peace, you know. So I was so happy, like, I was like, thank you, God, like, because I needed it. I needed a break. Okay. And you guys, because of how my life had been going last year, God forbid it. And I'm not joking when I say, like, every time I feel like, okay, I have a little bit of breathing space right here, something happens. Like, in the back of my head, I was just like, I hope nothing happens, because I haven't felt this in a long time, and I want to bask in it without feeling paranoid. You know what I mean? Like, I was just like, please, like, I need this to last, guys. 2 days, or it was the day after or something, I got my loans through, and I was just about to call my dad to tell him, like, finally got my loans through. I got into a car accident. Guys, my whole car got destroyed. The only thing that I'm grateful for is that I made it out alive. I got hit from the back, and then apparently a semi hit me from the passenger side. Like, the only side that did not get hit was the front. I don't want to go too much into like the backstory of all that was happening, because anybody got time. The lady who hit me, her airbag deployed. She came out of the car screaming, crying, started calling police. I didn't know what to do. I've never been in an accident before. I've never been in an accident this bad in my life. Not even halfway of this level in my life. I lost my phone, I lost my camera, I lost my lens, my laptop got broken. But what did me the most when I came out of the car was the car. By the time I'd seen this car that I just got, the car that just gave me peace 2 days ago, I broke down. I felt so defeated. I was so over it. I was over life. Crazy to think about, but like, at that point when I'd seen the car, I was just like, you should have taken me too, because I don't want to be alive having to deal with this. Because now I'm alive to start stressing again. God, like, as if I have not had enough this year. What am I doing here? Like, 2021, what else? If I thought I was stressed a couple months ago, this one came and showed me that, see me, there's bigger fish. There's bigger fish in the sea. You really thought wrong. The days and the weeks and the months after this accident, guys, no peace. The peace that I just had was gone now. I'm stressed now, fighting the insurance companies, fighting this lady that was lying on my head, like not claiming at fault that she was at fault, waiting for investigation and stuff like that. With all this happening, I still had school to go to. I do not joke when I tell you medical school does not wait for you. I'll give you an instance. The next day, right, because this accident happened on a Saturday and I came back home on Sunday, I needed the Monday to just collect myself. I'm like, I don't have a phone. I've lost everything. My laptop is broken. Rotation was about to start. I was about to start OMM rotation. So I emailed like, can I please get the day off? I just got into a car accident. I sent pictures of the car. And of course, because med school waits for no one, they were like, yeah, of course, take the break, but you got to make up the day though. You still have to make up the day. Med school is really your life. It really is your life, the period you're here. The rest of the year was just me trying to get back to peace and normalcy in my life, literally, while doing school. And then I had to start searching for a new car. And guys, like, that process honestly must have been the most, it was such a torturing time. Finding a car, especially right now, it's so hard to get a car, and I didn't have that much of a budget. My friends who would offer to just pick me up and drop me off places, or like sometimes they just get me food. Like the week after the accident, like I just have some friends just send me, no matter how small, like if it was $20 today, like it would just send like 20, tomorrow they'll send like 10, tomorrow they'll send like 15, tomorrow they'll send like 30. It'd be like simple things like that. But like I'm like, at least that money can help with like Uber right today, or it can help with like food tomorrow or stuff like that. Like literally from people who had nothing to give, like they would still try to find stuff to give to me, or taking time out of their day, like days out of their days, to like just drop me off and pick me up from school, from the hospital. But whenever any help could be given, I from the people who really were just there for me, I got it. Like active help I received, and yeah, honestly, thank you. Like I know I've been screaming thanks to them, but thank you for literally all your help, because it was not an easy time for me, to be honest. I stayed with family over like during Thanksgiving, and right after that, like I stopped stressing, because I'd been stressing all through the year and like thinking about how to plan the next step. After that, I was just like, I'm just going to not stress anymore. I'm not going to overthink things. I'm going to stop trying to control my life, because every time I try to control it, plan things, manage things, I'll get slapped in the face. Like, damn. The conversations that I had with the people that I was just like, you know what, I'm going to stop trying to not overthink things or stress over things that I can't control, or caring so much or worrying so much about certain situations. And a lot of other things happened, like even with my personal relationships with people in my life, that I was like just partly disappointed, partly sad about. And after that, things are just like, it's all right. It really is okay. I'm just going to stop stressing about things. Once I had that like perspective, I started feeling a little bit more at peace. You know what I mean? I just started feeling a little bit calm. Things were not settled at all for me. I was still having to Uber, and still having to do rotations, managing the money that I had, constantly getting disappointed about the car. Like I'd get a call and it's like, oh, your car isn't here. But I was just like, I'm not going to overthink it. This is what it is. And I was just able to continue moving on with my life. So yeah, that pretty much sums up what 2021 was like for me. By Christmas, I actually was feeling better. I don't think I've actually been myself in a long time. Like, yeah, I feel like 2020 was just bad for everyone, COVID and everything. But 2021 was like coming to get me, was really out for me for some reason. I haven't said much to you guys. I've only said like the major ones, because there are also things happening with people that I really and truly care about, and I'm an empath. So it's like I'm soaking up everybody's wahala on top of my own. And it's just, it was a lot. Looking back, right, and just thinking through how everything happened, like God really came through for me in so many ways. He really put people in my life that helped me through it. This year that just passed is the most dependent I've ever been in my life. Like in so many situations I had to just depend. And I'm honestly the kind of person, especially if you know me, I figure out my stuff myself. I have a huge problem asking for help. Like, it's so hard for me to ask. I rather help and ask. It's just a very weird thing that I have. And some of my friends will offer to do something, like, are you sure you really want to do that? Are you really sure? And they're looking at me like, there was no way that could have happened in 2021. Like, I needed all the help I could get. In fact, I asked for help so many times in 2021. Like, I had to. Without asking, I had people helping me out as well. And it's crazy because like the most help that I got this year, like the people who kept me sane and just helped me with so many things, were people I kind of just met. You know, like people that I've only known for about 2 years, I think. What if I didn't meet you guys 2 years ago? I would have been dead. People that I was expecting the least help from were the ones that gave me the most support, the most assistance, like just literally poured their all into me. And I just sometimes felt like, damn, like I need to repay y'all in some way. I can't explain how much I was surprised this year. Both good and bad ways, actually. Both good and bad ways by my friends. I can see for a fact how it could have been a lot worse than it was. I'm just glad that at least I have people to help me out. Like, I did not die. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. It's just a lot of life lessons for me, and I'm still learning. I'm still like moving forward, like just trying to not let the world or like my stress situations control me, but also not like try to be in control of everything. Honestly, just leaving and trusting God to handle things is helpful. And also protecting my energy and like how much I pour into certain things, you know, pouring into people that pour into me, because there's only so much you can do. The way life will move you back and forth. That's why this year I'm like a little bit more at peace. So yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at right now. And I think I've talked for so long, but I had to do this video. I had to come on here and like explain what's been going on, explain what I've been out, walk you guys through 2021, like what happened. Hopefully this year is a lot better, it's a lot calmer, it's more fulfilling. I hope it's all tears of joy this year. I know it's not all going to be smooth sailing, but I'm just going to trust God. 2 of my mentees got into medical school, and I haven't been on here that much, you know. I don't know if I'm getting any DMs. I don't have access to my Hermed series page right now, but hopefully by the time this video goes up, I will have access and I would have responded to some of the messages. But I've gotten a lot of emails I haven't looked at, I haven't responded to, and I'm so sorry. I tried, like sometimes I get emails, I'm like, oh, Hermed series, oh, I had to get back on there, and I just wasn't able to, and I apologize. One of them had super similar stats as me, you know yourself, but they both got into medical school this year. They're both internationals, and honestly, congratulations to you guys. I literally, before starting this page, prayed. I was like, God, if I get into medical school, at this point I wasn't even sure I'd get in, but I was like, if I get into medical school this year, absolutely I'm going to start a medical YouTube page. And I am, if you know me, I don't know how I project myself here, but I'm very shy. I've always been very quiet. College, high school, primary school, medical school, I'm quiet. I don't be talking. I don't shout. I'm not the like outgoing type of person. I'm an introvert. If I'm not super close to you, you won't hear me shout. So yeah, me doing this is so out of my comfort zone. If I was to meet any of y'all, I'd be like, you watch my channel? Oh my gosh. As me, I'm like, don't tell me you watch it, because now you know all these things about me. Because when I'm talking to the camera, I'm just talking to the camera. There's nobody here. It's just me. And you know, and I just post these videos, and some days I get a lot of views, other days I don't. So it's like I never know who's watching. You know what I mean? But I told myself I was going to start this channel to put out information that helped me get into medical school, just so people see that it's possible. I want people to know that there's hope, you know, especially international medical students, like, and also to others. Like, if I could do as an international, you can as well. That's why I started this page. And knowing 2 people, especially at the time where I was dealing with a lot, got into medical school this year, it just warms my heart so much. And I'm so proud of you guys, and I'm so excited for, you know, for this future doctors, future amazing doctors that we're gonna have. Like, I just so glad. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for supporting. But yeah, okay. Whew, that was a lot of talking. Please like the video, guys, subscribe to the channel, and let's grow this channel. All right, I'll see you guys in the next one.